If you're looking to buy Rocket League keys or items, make sure to check out rocketprices.com and use code CLASSY for a discount. Welcome back to some Rocket League. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than my usual gameplay. I'm going to be going through my Rocket League in-game settings. Whether you're new to the game or an experienced Rocket League player like myself, you might find something interesting, so make sure to watch the video until the end and pop a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Starting off with gameplay, all this stuff doesn't really matter. I like to keep cross-platform play off, just because PS4 people can make Smurf accounts really easily, and I like to turn that off. Make sure all your client send rate, server send rate, and bandwidth limit is all on high. That makes sure that you get the best performance on the servers as possible. Show competitive divisions and show extra mode ranks. I like to keep those on, but you know, if you're like a salty player and you don't like to see yourself losing, you can turn those off. Anyway, key selection, I don't know what that is. Hide crates, that's in case you don't want to see the crates in your inventory. But these are my settings. Anyway, let's move on over to the camera settings. Now, over here in the camera settings is where it starts to get really interesting, especially if you're a new player and you're still playing on default camera settings, which is a big no-no. Another thing that I see new players doing a lot is they'll go into their camera settings and they'll just max out all their settings so that you got this tiny little car in the middle of your screen and you're supposed to do all this fancy stuff, which is also a big no-no, okay? You want some balance when it comes to your camera settings. My settings here are quite balanced. If you want to just copy those and give them a go, be my guest. But feel free to tweak the distance a little bit, the height a little bit, maybe even the field of view. Anyway, I'm going to be going through each individual setting. If you want to skip that, I'll have a little annotation in the top right. Starting off with camera shake, I keep camera shake off, and I'm pretty sure most players do. Certainly all the pro players keep it off. Basically, it just shakes the screen when you're driving, which is not fun. So, field of view sort of widens your field of vision on the pitch. Turning this up might make it so that you see stuff on your right and on your left side that you otherwise wouldn't see. I'd recommend keeping it on around about 100 to 110. Distance controls how far away your camera is from your car. I'd recommend keeping it at a minimum of 260 and maybe a maximum of like 290 or 300. Keep in mind that you don't want to go overboard on the distance. A higher distance means you're going to be less accurate when it comes to ball control if you're not used to it. Camera height controls the position of the camera above your car. I think 110 is like the sweet spot. I changed a lot of my settings here and there, but I pretty much never changed the camera height. Camera angle changes the angle at which you see your car. Increasing it makes so you see more of what's in front of your car, while decreasing it makes so that you see more of the ground. I mostly keep my angle at -3, however sometimes when I'm playing a lot of ones I like to change it to maybe -4, just so that I can see a little bit more of what's behind the ball. Stiffness controls how rigid your camera follows the car. I keep mine right in the middle-ish. As you can see on the right, I have stiffness on the max, and on the left I have it on the lowest. Swivel speed controls how fast your right stick moves the camera around your screen. And last but not least, transition speed controls how fast your camera flicks to the ball and flicks off when using ball cam. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on into the controls part of the settings. These are super important if you are in fact playing on a controller. However, if you are playing with a keyboard and mouse, you can just skip this part of the video. I'll leave a little annotation in the top right corner. So, I myself use a PS4 controller, however, these work perfectly fine with an Xbox One controller as well. So let's take a look at the right side of the controller on the default controls. You got boost on circle, jump on X, air roll / drift on square, and ball cam on triangle. Now, this makes no sense at all, because in Rocket League you're constantly holding down boost while tapping jump, and you're also constantly holding down air roll while holding down boost and trying to jump at the same time. Add on top of that, you gotta like press triangle every once in a while for ball cam, and you also gotta use your right stick to look around. It's too much. It's too much for my thumb, okay? It can't do all this stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna show you guys my solution to this. I'm gonna show you my keybinds. Personally, I think these are probably the best keybinds for a standard PS4 and Xbox One controller. So for my controls, I have rear view on circle, boost on X, jump on square, and ball cam on triangle. Then I put air roll and drift on L1, and air roll right on R1. I also have air roll left on L3, leaderboard on the share button, and hold down the right arrow to save replay. Now this makes a ton more sense because you can rest your thumb on X and square at the same time, and you can press X with the middle part of your thumb and even hold it down while still being able to tap square freely. This means you can boost and jump all you want at the same time, and you can also press triangle or circle at the same time as holding down boost. If you take a look at any high-level Rocket League game, people are just going ham on the boost. They're just double jumping while holding down boost. They're holding down boost during the entire aerial to get there as fast as possible. It's just boost, boost, boost. So if you have to take your finger off boost to double press jump, then you're screwed in the higher levels. Now I know that changing your controls is a huge commitment. I myself have changed my controls multiple times, and it has often taken several weeks to get to my previous stage of gameplay. But honestly, it's worth it if you're still on the default controls. If you have some other keybinds that you like, let me know down below, but these are honestly, in my opinion, the best ones that I've found so far. Controller vibration I have disabled because I myself find it distracting, but it's just personal preference, not a game changer. Controller dead zone is basically how far you have to move your joystick from the center before you begin moving in the game. By default, this is set to 0.5. However, I'd highly recommend going at least below 0.2. Dodge dead zone is basically the same as controller dead zone. It's how far you have to move your joystick from the center in order to perform a dodge. I keep mine as low as possible, but if you're struggling with double jump aerials, then you should try to turn it up a little bit past 0.5. Steering and aerial sensitivity I keep at 0.1. The rest of these are just personal preference, it's all up to you. Let's take a peek at my interface options. These aren't that important, mostly just personal preference. I have changed my interface scale down to 75%, and I've also turned up my nameplate scale. That way I can see the nameplates in-game a little bit easier. Here are my video settings. These really depend on what type of rig you got. Obviously, if you're playing on console, you're not going to have nearly as many options as you are on PC. I play on a 1080p 165Hz monitor, so I have sort of crafted my settings to make sure that I get at least 165 FPS no matter what. I spent a decent amount of time thinking about my video settings, and I think these are the best for my PC. I'd highly recommend copying these and tweaking a few things if needed. The audio options are pretty much completely personal preference. However, I've turned down my music all the way because I listen to my own music. The voice volume I've turned down all the way, as well as the ambient volume. This is just so that I can hear other people boosting and jumping while playing the game. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed or found it helpful in any way, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. If you guys want to support me even further, make sure to go check out my Patreon, which I've linked down below. This video actually took a surprising amount of time to make, so thank you guys so much for the support, I really do appreciate it.
Please like and subscribe, thank you.